Want to go deeper with Lobbing Scorchers? You know, scratch under the surface, get down even dirtier than we already get? Become a YouTube member. Sometimes things just get a little too spicy, a little too weird, and a little too loose for the general public. And you know, the people to see that are YouTube members. We're talking about exclusive bonus videos, the podcast after show, exclusive written content, and little bits and pieces of information before the unwashed masses know about it. As a member, you not only get access to all of this amazing content, you get a badge next to your name and a slew of amazing emotes to use, not only in our live stream chat, but also in our comments section. And yes, we do have an emote for Jesus Ferreira, Go Snack, and Paul Rothrock. This is the best way to help keep us independent and keep us building out this crazy YouTube brand that we call Lobbing Scorchers. Hit the join button down below or hit the link in the top of our description if you're on mobile to join the ranks and become a Lobbing Scorchers YouTube member.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of Lobbing Scorchers Kickoff. I'm Ari. That's Nico. We didn't get a lot of sleep, but we are back at it at 8:18 a.m. the morning after the Seattle Sounders became Leagues Cup 2025 champions. Nico, what a night at Lumen Field. I'm not going to lie to you, brother. I slept about 2, maybe 3 hours last night. I'm running on absolute fumes, but we would not miss this episode. We had to get right back at it. Nico, how are you feeling after what we witnessed at Lumen Field last night? A historic 3-0 victory over Inter Miami, Lionel Messi, and the Barca Boys, followed by one of the all-time greatest crash outs I've ever seen from not just a professional soccer club, but any group of human beings. How are you feeling now? How many hours are we removed? Like 7 or 8 hours removed? How are you feeling, Nico?
I am tired. So good morning to all you Lobbing Scorcher audience and Lobbing Scorchers family and you Sounders sickos. It is early. We have about 4 or 5 hours of sleep
between us.
And that's what happened. That's what happens when there's history. That's what happens when you have a game that had absolutely everything. It had great goals. It had drama. It had suspense, and it had a brawl. I mean, you know, you just can't even write it up the way that it did. And all the fans just needed us to be on here and comment on, you know, what both you and I thought about the whole thing. You're right. You know, it's been enough time for me to let things soak up and soak in and kind of marinate after it all happened. And I gotta say that I just continue to be amazed of how well represented Seattle was in a global stage yesterday, from the crowd, the atmosphere, the game, the soccer, what the boys did on the field, to their class and their composure throughout the madness that was the aftermath of that game. So I just have to put it up there with one of the best games that the Sounders have played. I don't know if this is bigger than CONCACAF Champions League win. Logic tells me no, because that was the first tournament for the Sounders to win. They were the first MLS team to win that tournament. You know, that collection of wins and how they got there, and the back and forth between going to Mexico, tying that game, coming back, and then just beating Pumas the way they did. In my mind, seems like it's bigger, but we're so close to this one that beating Messi, Mascherano, DePaul, Busquets, winning a Leagues Cup, the first one for the club, of course, becoming the first club to win it all in North America. I mean, they've won every single tournament that you could possibly win for the Seattle Sounders, and that's to be applauded. So I think that's what I want to just close on. The Seattle Sounders are the most successful club in CONCACAF in terms of titles. They won everything. No other club could really say that.
Ian says it's like it was scripted. The whole thing was absolute cinema. I still can't believe the entire sequence of events that we witnessed. But down to Schmetz creating a viral meme in the lead up to the game by saying they have Messi, but we have Paul Rothrock. All the attention that quote got. And then who is it that scores the last iconic goal that really seals it and puts the match to bed? Paul Rothrock. The fact that it ended up like that was, I mean, it's amazing. Like I could not have written that. I could not have written that any better. And then obviously the ending was just insane. That's making international headlines every time there's a Suarez crash out. That is going to lead to some headlines. And that was one of his bigger crash outs, which is saying a lot for a guy that is largely known in his life and his career for his crash outs, honestly, as much as his soccer abilities. But that, I mean, that brawl at the end, that was a real brawl. It wasn't like one of those like fake hold me back type of brawls. That was like swings going on. You got a lot of it on video, Nico. That you took that on the Pulso YouTube, correct? Is that your video?
I did. I took that. I did radio for 1360 AM. I helped with a commentary, and of course, you have open transmission booth where there's no windows. You open up to get the atmosphere sound. So it was the perfect advantage point, and credit to Samsung and Galaxy series of phones that I'm a Galaxy guy, I'm an Android guy. Yeah. And it has great zoom, and it just was the perfect advantage point. And yes, I saw it all, saw it happen, saw Sergio Busquets slowly get close to Obed and hit him with a jab to the chin.
Loser.
And it was just wild, man. To what you just said, though, it is kind of incredible the way it all played out, right? Because it wasn't just Paul Rothrock getting the goal, but it was like striker Paul Rothrock. I mean, it was Brian Smetcher looking like a genius in so many ways, right? In everything before, just prepping, setting it up, and then at the end, you pull out Ferreira, you put Paul Rothrock at striker, and the boy shines, man. Everybody who's had some negative to say about Paul Rothrock and why is this guy up there and why does he play? Every single person that going into this game just had this assumption that the Seattle Sounders were going to get killed, or that they had no chance, that it was impossible, that the only way they were going to win was on PKs. And, that sort of commentary I heard from pundits, national pundits. I heard them from just YouTubers or influencers. I heard them from people that have no idea, no business doing any sort of soccer breakdowns, and I saw it from fans. I mean, it was everybody who was not looking close enough. If you were watching both teams, if you were really paying attention, if you were watching the sort of season that Inter Miami was having, and you were watching what the Sounders were doing, and you saw the deficiencies that Miami team had, should not be surprised. It's not an upset. It's not a surprise. Going into this game, both Jeremiah and I said that we thought that we were not just confident, and I know I was beyond confident. I was sure that Seattle was the favorite going into this game because they've never lost a final at home, because they are a team that was a better collective, that were in better form, and Messi or no Messi, the collectiveness, the cohesiveness of this team, I thought was going to get them past Inter Miami. I had a 3-1 scoreline. That was me. They were calling me crazy for saying it was going to be 3-1. It was 3-0, man. That's pretty close. So I love it. There isn't enough I can say about this game. I'm just rejoicing.
You gave him too much credit. giving him that goal. Yeah, it's funny. It turns out that winning in MLS isn't just as simple as getting Lionel Messi, the Barca Boys, and Rodrigo de Paul. It's almost like it's just like this oversimplified way of thinking that you can actually do this stuff. You think that it sounds like a foolproof plan. We're gonna buy Leo Messi. It's MLS. We're gonna win every trophy in MLS. He's gonna just destroy all of MLS and win everything. He's got no competition. No one can take down Leo Messi. It's all well and good to say that, but games played on grass or turf, and it's not won on paper. And when you're actually in the heat of it, and you have to do something that you have to do when you're an MLS club, like fly across the country to Lumen Field and play the Seattle Sounders in a final on short rest on turf. Are Leo Messi and the Barca Boys going to save you in that situation, or is there more to it than that? Do you actually really need to be about it to be a team that can pull that off in Major League Soccer? We saw what happens. We saw what happens when all you've got is cutting corners, because you can't like do the actual work yourself to get to where you're trying to get. So that's what happened. That's what happened, and it was incredible. The crash out brawl was I mean, we're gonna break down your video here in a bit, but it's even weirder, Nico, than I thought. Like, in hindsight, if you watch Suarez's whole trajectory, which we're gonna do, like, he crashes out, spits on Gene, which is the main incident that's getting the most attention, but then he like comes back to where everything, like, the players are all like simmering down and talking to each other, and is like dapping everyone up. I think he like daps up KKR. He gives him his jersey. He's shaking hands. He's like being a man about town. Brother, you just spit on a man that's not as far away from your age as you might think. He's pretty close to your age, actually. But, like, come on, man. Like, what are we? That really, to me, it just reinforces, like, there is something we all knew this, but, like, there's something genuinely just wrong with that guy. How can you go from spitting on Gene to like yucking it up with everyone and pretending like you didn't just do that? Like, there's screws loose. I think he's just like he's just a maniac. Like, did you notice that too? Like, what was that part of it? Like,
look, the reason why he acts like that is because, as rest in peace Charlie Murphy would say about Rick James, he's a perpetual line stepper, and he's used to just doing what he wants every single time. And yes, there's something wrong with him, and going to a guy like Gene and spitting in his face, and then getting into it with the other staff member that's trying to keep him away from the elderly staff member because you think you're big and bad. It's mind-blowing. It's honestly, it's sad. It makes you just wonder if he should just retire, because he's not going to live that down. And if he does live it down, then we're not doing our job, and people should be ashamed that the guy like that can just have that sort of action, that repulsive action, and just go being about a man about the town, and just going to get coffee and chill and then go back to practice like nothing happened, drinking his mate. I mean, that's not what should happen, right?
That's not normal.
It's not normal. It's not normal, man. So you're right, and it's weird because he is part of the brawl, and then he like moves out. I don't understand why he engages with Gene, and I don't care. I thought Mascherano is a great coach, and I thought that Brian Smetzer gave him his credit and all this stuff. And hold on, I did not mean to say that he's not a great coach. He's an okay coach.
He was a great player.
He was a great player. But if I'm, a coach and I know what happened, I either gotta not comment or be about saying, hey, that's unacceptable.
What did he say?
And he kind of mentioned that, that every if something happened, I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but maybe they were antagonized. Maybe there was a reaction
Oh
to an
my
action.
God.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh my God. That
I
was
got to
his
figure out what
response.
happened.
That
Yeah,
was his
he
response.
basically said,
That
look, I was
security
too far
gene.
away from it. Yeah, he was too far away from it. All this stuff because my question was, there is a video of Sergio Busquets hitting over the Vargas in the face.
We're gonna watch it.
And there is a video of him spitting on a staff member, and he was like, well, I wasn't there, I was too far away from the actions and all these things. But then at the end, he kind of killed the little he said by just indicating that he's got to figure out why it happened. I was like, look, it doesn't matter why it happened. It should have not happened.
No, if that was Mascherano's response, then he's just an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, if nothing else, you have to have like the media and PR savvy to know that you can't say that in a situation like that. Yeah, how do their PR people not tell them that, like, when they ask you about this, which they will, you have to give the, like, it was unacceptable, we don't condone that, we'll deal with it internally, blah 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 blah. Any implication that his actions in that situation were justified because Gene provoked or antagonized him, you lost already. There's no point in saying that. No one's going to take that seriously. No one should take that seriously. Like, not only is it just the wrong response on the merits of it, but it's just stupid. Like,
yeah,
what do you think is to be accomplished or gained by going with that talking point, with that line on it? That just proves to me that he's that it's pretty much what we thought with that situation, that he doesn't know what he's doing just on the basics of the job. Any coach who knows what they're doing will tell you that that there's a set of lines that you have to say when your player goes into territory like this, which I haven't seen happen that much, to be fair, but there's no other response to that other than, that was unacceptable, we don't condone it, we'll deal with it internally.
That's it.
And by the way, someone mentioned it in chat up here. No, okay, sorry, I don't know where it is anymore.
No, but while you
someone
look
was
for
saying,
it,
like, will he get suspended or MLS won't suspend him? Like, he is going to get suspended. He can get suspended for league games for this, and we'll see what they give him. Luis Suarez's MLS career should be over, man. Like, there's got to be a line. There's got to be like a threshold that you hit where it's just not tenable. Okay. He should be done. He should be done. You can call it woke, you can call it soft or whatever. If you're going with those talking points, which some people are, super sick point. You are defending a guy spitting on security Gene, who is way older than Luis Suarez. So, I mean, like, I can't believe he said that. That blows my mind.
And who has nothing to do with it. I mean, look, if you just search up Mascherano, if you just search up Mascherano, you get all of the headlines. Marca says Mascherano justifies Luis Suarez. There may be a provocation. Javier Mascherano accuses Seattle Sounders of instigating Luis Suarez. Another publication.
Does he know there's video? Does he know people have cameras? What is he doing, man? That makes it so much worse.
It's wild.
It was already one of the most pathetic, embarrassing displays I've ever seen on a soccer field. And the coach saying that about it, it makes it worse. It makes it worse. And on top of that, it underscores his incompetence. All right. Like, it was always kind of a joke that they hired him. We all knew that. He didn't get hired on anything on coaching merit. He got hired because he was boys with Messi, because he played with Messi.
He actually was a disaster with Argentina's U20.
Yeah. Was never so good as a coach that he merited coaching in any MLS club, Inter Miami or anyone else. And this just proves it. Like, the fact that he doesn't even know how to give, like, the boilerplate PR response at his press conference to that. I mean, on a team of he coaches a team of losers, he's a loser too.
I just want to make something clear. I totally agree with what Brian Smetzer answered me about the brawl, that this should not be the story. This should not overshadow the achievement by his team. This should not overshadow Pedro's first trophy and Andrew Thomas being the goalkeeper of the tournament, and Yamer Gomez Andrade's phenomenal performance, and Novid Vargas just keeping all his composure, being outstanding both offensively and defensively, putting pressure on Messi all game long. Reed Baker Whiten's performance, everything. Paul Rothrock, of course, living up to all the hype. Yes, that should be the focus. However, if we don't shine a light on this unacceptable behavior and what happened, then it would just go unfounded, unseen, and it wouldn't matter. And it would feel, as what you said, that you continue to carry yourself in that fashion, and that a World Cup winner, Champions League winner like Sergio Busquets can go after an 18-year-old kid after a game and do what he did and start the brawl that he started, and for it to just blow up. So yes, it's not the story. That's not the reason why we're covering this. The reason why we're covering it is so justice can happen, and so this sort of thing stops. And because it deserves to be, there should be a light that shines above this, so people could see what happened in the reaction of a group of grown men that should know better, and professionals at that, and soccer legends at that. I mean, all of the responsibility is on your team, and you just acted like a whole bunch of high school kids. I mean, it's unbelievable. So that's why we cover it. That's why I asked the question. That's why it needs to be talked about. It's just for that.
These men are in their mid to late 40s, man. What are we talking about? All right. I wanted to cover something positive, before we watch the video of the brawl. I wanted to play this post-game interview from On the Field of Osaze De Rosario and Dwayne De Rosario, and Osaze's mom also gets interviewed in it. It's just phenomenal. So I'm gonna play it for you guys if you haven't seen it yet. But I mean, Osaze, one of the breakout stars of the tournament, and it's such a cool story. Son of D-Ro, MLS legend right here. So getting to watch D-Ro get to gloat over this moment and everything, and just kind of talk about Osaze's path. It's pretty awesome. So let's just watch this and bask in this for a minute. How good is that? Amazing. There's nothing better than a proud mom interview. That's so good. And obviously, like, Dwayne D-Ro's part in there, I think we kind of like overlook sometimes how good Dwayne D-Ro was. 2011 MLS MVP, over 100 goals in the league, one of the best Canadian internationals ever. It rocks having Osaze on the team, and I love just getting to see, like, we haven't really heard from Dwayne D-Ro much, if at all, like, about how he feels about Osaze's rise it's only been in the last like few weeks here. But shout out to Dwayne De Rosario, because I mean, do they win this tournament without Osaze? Probably not, man. Like, the way that he stepped up and ran that number 9 role, you couldn't do it any better. And it was like, I don't know. I felt like it was preordained that he was going to score last night. There was no part of my mind where I thought Osaze was leaving that game without a goal. That just speaks to where he's at right now. But anything on Osaze before we watch Sergio Busquets and Luis Suarez crash out like little babies?
Yeah, look, I love the interaction. He is a very well put together individual that is short with his answers, that is a hardworking player, that had a huge responsibility, and that was basically handed to him because of Danny Musovski being suspended 2 games, and he took that. Even when things did not go right in that LA Galaxy game, he kept pushing. He gets his goal. I thought that he was better in this one than he was against the LA Galaxy. I thought that he put the center backs under a lot of pressure. And I'm not talking about his pressing defensively, but with his movement, he really occupied spaces well. He helped pivot and get the wingers involved. So I thought that his work rate was there. I thought that his vision was there, and the goal he puts away, it is the result of a player that sees space very well, and it crashes the box adequately. And he had gotten a couple of opportunities before that in a couple of Pedro de la Vega crosses that he couldn't quite get there. So when he gets to that ball, great service by Alex Roldan, by the way, he almost hits that ball with all of his strength because he was dying for it. He needed that goal, and he just seems to have the right mentality for the role. So I was happy for De Rosario and the De Rosario family, man. And the fact they all did the De Rosario zombie celebration is awesome.
So
I love
it. Actually, you guys can see over my shoulder there at our pre-match party at Fast Fashion yesterday, a couple of listeners gifted us some fan art of Osaze, and it says "Shake and Quake." I don't know if you can read that right there.
Oh, that is
It says
awesome.
"Shake and Quake," which is that's the name I've been using to refer to his goal in LA. Which, God, Nico, this tournament, 3 of my favorite goals in Sounders history in one tournament: the De La Vega Golazo, the Shake and Quake, and then the Rothrock capper. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. All right, let's watch the crybaby losers crash out. Because Nico, you got some of the best footage. There's all kinds of like people who are filming from the stadium, different angles coming out. But you got one of the best ones. This has over 120,000 views on YouTube. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, he kind of blew up there.
It blew up. You've got it titled "Sergio Busquets punches Obed Vargas, starts fight." I think when you posted this, you probably didn't even know about the spit yet. Like that came out later, didn't it?
No. I did hear about it when I posted. Just really took so long to post. I mean, I tried to do it as quick as I could, and as I'm like, I literally walked the stairs. I didn't even take the elevator down to the presser because I was trying to do a bunch of things at the same time, and information kept coming. People kept texting me. I was getting videos from like my son and people in the stadium, and yeah, I had heard about it, but the reality is that when I was watching this live, that's where it started. I mean, this is before the spit. This happens before. Yeah. And if you go all the way to the end, you see the last interaction between the Stafford trying to stop Luis Suarez from getting to Gene. So that's why I phrased it that way, because this starts the whole thing.
All right. So it starts when so you got Crash Out Crybaby number 1 right here, Luis Suarez, number 9 on Inter Miami. You can see at the start of Nico's video, he is already crashing out and being a little crybaby and talking a bunch of trash to a 20-year-old. And then what you're going to see is Crash Out Crybaby number 2, Sergio Busquets. He's going to come in, punch Obed Vargas in the face. A 37-year-old man is going to punch a 20-year-old kid in the face. What a crash out crybaby loser. Unbelievably sophomoric behavior from these absolute circus clowns. Let's take a watch at how it all starts, Nico. You're going to see Suarez right here. That's crash out crybaby number 1. The first thing you're going to see is Obed Vargas is laughing at Luis Suarez and mocking him while also not engaging with him physically, which is, it's nice to see the 20-year-old be the one behaving like an adult in this situation. But as you can see, crash out crybaby number 2, I believe that's him. Yes, right there. And you're going to see him come up and hit Obed in the face right here. There it is. Obed's going to go down. And then it kind of pops off from here. I mean, this in here just got this got kind of crazy. You can see Yamar's in there. Who is this right here, Nico? Is that Cody Bakes or who is that?
Yeah, it's Cody Baker.
Cody Bakes was in there scrapping.
Yeah, Cody Baker was the first one to be like, just punch over it. And he's like in his face. And he's the one that ends up getting put in a headlock throughout the rest of the sequence. Yeah, he's like he's the nucleus of that ball of anger.
You got another crash out crybaby, Falcone, right here. He's the one who's got. I believe that he's the one who had Cody Bakes in the headlock. But I mean, so at this point, you've got a lot of separation between crash out crybaby number 1, Luis Suarez. Crash out crybaby number 2 is in the midst of it after he just hit a 20-year-old kid in the face. But let's keep the footage rolling here. Yeah, Falcone trying to headlock Cody Bakes. Yaimar's in there trying to break it up.
Jackson Reagan's trying to get people off too.
All right. So and then we got, look at this right here. Is that Jordi Alba? So crash out crybaby number 4, I believe. Unless I'm mistaken. Messi is right here. Christian Roldan's got his arm around Messi. This is Segovia. Fafa and Osaze are they're like, it's okay, bro. It's okay. I know you didn't mean it. It's all good. But over here, it's still who's going to try and put Jackson Reagan in a headlock? Not Alba, Weighorst. I don't even know who that is. Apparently, some man named Weighorst has Jackson Reagan in a headlock. It was kind of Jackson Reagan was like a key character in all this, like more than
he was.
I would have expected. Like I would have thought of Jackson Reagan as like the guy who's like maybe not gonna go right in the middle, but he was. So like that I mean this part right here, you got multiple headlocks. I hadn't noticed this Osaze and Fafa broing it out over here. That's a nice little touch. You got Albert Rusnak and Kim over here. You got Jesus Ferreira circling the outside. He's just making sure everything's nothing's getting too crazy, even though it clearly is. You got a photog in there. She's like, all right.
She really is. That good spot, man. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, that's I mean, she probably got some. I want to see the photos that she got. All right, and then so is this like an assistant coach rumbling? Oh wait, and then you get the J Bell part too as well. John Bell, another key character in all this. I mean, I think you're going to see it in a few seconds here. But he sees. Let's see. He sees something that sets him off, and then he gets in there. Spills over. All right, and so this is. Maybe this isn't the John Bell part. This is where Crash Out Crybaby number 1 like really starts to lose it.
Yeah, right there. It's crazy because he's part of the coaching staff in the White Hat. His name is blanking on me. He's the former San Jose player that he was brought in to help with like mental health, right? He's the coach that
he's needed in this situation,
right? But then he's like yes, that's the one. Absolutely.
Is he up for Miami?
No, he's for Sounders.
Isn't that the guy that? I could be thinking of someone else. I thought there was some guy for the Quakes named that like everyone hated, but whatever.
Yeah, no, that is the guy for the Quakes but he was brought into the Sounders.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Say the name again.
Steve Lenhart.
Yes, that's him. Steve, that's him. That is who was brought in earlier this year to, he's been working out with Paul Arriola, mentally and all of those things, and he's the guy that you can come talk to.
Okay, I got you.
It's some sort of role like that, and it's funny because he's trying to stop it, but then he gets.
Then he like gets into it.
Yeah, I mean, because he's trying to stop it, but then he starts getting punched. I don't know who the one of the guys that still had a penny on just like pushes him from the back, so then he has to respond. And KKR is trying to get him out of there, and that's why it ends up breaking off, I guess.
Cody Bakes is still over here jawing. It's like, what's up? What's up? I'm Cody Bakes. You put me in a headlock. I'm not backing down from these old men. But yeah, like this is where the story of Crash Out Crybaby Luis Suarez really takes an unfortunate turn. I really think like he doesn't even know what he's mad about or who he's yelling at or why he's doing it. Like it's just when I think it seems clear to me that when he gets in his crash out mode, there's just like he's like blacked out or something. Like I don't want that to be used as rationalization, like he doesn't know what he's doing. but like it's just there's no impetus for him to behave like this, like to this extent. And that's why Javier Mascherano trying to imply that is even more ridiculous. But let's see what he does. Well, first, okay, yeah.
Here comes J Bell.
All right. This is the J Bell part. We gotta break this part down. All right, so you're gonna see Jackson Reagan. Jesus Christ. All right. Jackson Reagan is over here. You got one of the crash out crybabies in an orange penny right here. You got Benjamin Kramashi right here. Jesus Ferreira has made his way over here. And then this is going to be the key right here. J Bell. He's going to see this crash out crybaby punch Jackson Reagan in the face. And then that's when J Bell comes in.
I think that's Agenda who runs up like on the other side.
I'm pretty sure that's Agenda. It's not this guy who does it. All right. Well, I mean, let's. Oh, yeah. No. Okay. So that's Allende, who, what a terrible player. I mean, his missed shot, that should go down in Inter Miami history. He's so mad about the shot that he missed that he punches Jackson Reagan in the face. You can see he has to reach up because he's too little. He gets Jackson pretty good. And then where is J Bell at this point? I think he came in like from around here. Yeah, and just
throws him.
God, dude. I mean, but like that's what you get. Like, what are we talking about?
But you see the difference. The Sounder players are trying to remove Inter Miami players. I mean, forcefully, but they're not swinging on them. They're not punching them. They're just trying to just throw them out. It's almost as like if you are in any position of needing to dominate. Another person without hurting them. That's what they're doing. They're just throwing them around and they're trying to grab him. And J Bell clearly is trying to get him off. So it's not like Agende or Cello, who he's swinging to a bunch of people in this mayhem, or of course Busquets, who goes at Obit's face. So the Sounder players were involved, but they're trying to get people off. There's one point where Stefan Fry grabs Cello just like this, just so he doesn't go attack people. So yeah, I think the Sounders kept their composure immensely. And Jackson Reagan, as the biggest, tallest dude in there, he's just trying to throw people off, and everybody's coming at him because he's the biggest guy in the brawl. So it's crazy.
We've seen two Sounders players get punched in the face in the first 20 seconds of this video. So a very common, normal way to respond to taking an absolutely massive L. All right. I think the J Bell part that's one of the key parts. That was an incredible section. That kind of really sets it off back over here. Jackson is heated. He's just towering over everyone. Steph Fry, De La Vega gives Jackson a kiss. That was cute.
Freddie Juarez was out there too, trying to catch people.
You had Schmetz like out there. That Schmetz is right here. He's like dead in the middle of it. You got Christian Roldan and Paul Areola like, oh, dude, we won. It's all good. Yeah, and you got De La Vega is that Danny Leyva right there. So it seems like it's starting to simmer down over here.
Does.
They're starting to celebrate, and then these guys are like, we're kind of crash out, crybaby losers. Maybe, oh damn it, we have to go to the second place ceremony. Okay, well they're getting mentally prepared for their participation trophy ceremony, and so it's like not that hot at this point. But then this was a good part too. Osaze getting lit with whoever that is. That Paul Areola too? Can't remember.
Yeah, I think I want to say that is Paul Areola. Yeah.
All right, so this is where. Nico? Were you just panning over because you're like, oh, Suarez is crashing out? I bet. Like, what was going through your?
No, so I'm all my attention is at the brawl and on the aggressors that made it all happen. Falcone and DePaul was out there, Cello, and one of the guys in the booth with me we're calling this live in Spanish. That's why you hear everything you hear there is us in the Spanish call, right? Kind of describing what's happening. And he's like, oh, Suarez just hit Gene, and you hear me say, where is it? Because I got the max zoom right, and I don't know what's happening. It's like over there. So then I switch it, and what happened was that it looked like he punched it, but it was the spit and push that happened with Gene, and that's when I put the camera on. I don't catch the spit, but I catch the interaction afterwards.
And then I'm pretty sure you get the moment of it, but like this group right here, I mean, this is like the moment that is going viral like around the entire world right now. I mean, like I said, I mean, if you look up Luis Suarez right now, the pundits in Europe have been covering him doing this stuff for the last like 20 years. Every time there's a new Suarez crash out, it's gonna get a lot of press, a lot of headlines, and this is one of his crazier crash outs. Pretty much every other time that I can think of where he's crashed out and done something crazy, like bit somebody or said something racist, it's like towards another player. Here he is going at like a team staffer, which is kind of, it's new territory even for this crash out crybaby loser. But like there is nothing. There would be no circumstance where what he did was acceptable anyway, but there's nothing that even happens here where you can even see why he is like that upset. Like, we don't know what was said, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's just no way.
It doesn't matter. It
like,
doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
No way. So let's see if you got the actual. Okay, crash out, crybaby, loser, pointing at Gene, pushing that guy.
Yeah, so this is after the spit. So what happens?
Oh, so this is after.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what
you panned right after. Okay, I get it now. I got the.
Yeah, so basically, when I hear what's going on with Gene, I go up with my camera and I only catch the interaction after he spit on him, including Ustari trying to like figure things out, and the Seattle Sounders staff member whose name I will not say for his protection, or just, I don't know if he wants his name out there, but he's protecting Gene because he just saw what happened. So he's like, what are you doing? And Luis Suarez continues to try to go at Gene, which is wild to me. And so he has to all of a sudden protect, obviously, someone who's defenseless, and that's just wild.
Yeah. So yeah, this is right after. And I think this next sequence is the weirdest part for me. So like what happens is you follow him back to where everything was kind of calming down, like where all the players are now just kind of talking and milling about a little bit post Brawl. And he just like, yeah, like, I mean, we're about to watch it, but he's just like acting like everything is chill and normal. Like, what? But okay, just watch. Still crashing out.
Can I just say that I'm a little disappointed that Matt Winters, who you see there trying to get close, didn't just pick up Luis Suarez. I've always wanted to see Matt and Alex in action in this situation. Now, I was kind of hoping that they were just going to start throwing some people around, but I guess they can't really do it. They're PR guys. But I feel like if it's a brawl like this, like, you should be able to protect, you're not hurting nobody, but I'm pretty sure that Matt Winters could pick up that Luis Suarez and just move him around like a drag dog. But
I can't imagine actually being down there in the heat of this. That must have been insane.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so like, yeah, this is what you're gonna see right here is so you've got crash out crybaby number 1, and this is immediately post spit. He spit on Gene and then kept crashing out, got separated, and so now he's just walking back to where everything was originally taking place. Watch what this crash out crybaby loser does here. He's like, oh, look, it's my guy KKR. dapping him up. What's up, man? What's going on? How you doing? Good job out there today. You guys really beat our ass. Our team's not that good. Okay, and then so yeah, KKR is like, what? And Ferreira comes over. They're just hanging out like it's totally normal. What the hell, Nico? Like what? Like what can you even make of the switch up? When I saw that, I was like, this guy's he's out of his mind. He's out of his mind.
Luis Suarez is a perpetual line stepper, used to just being able to fight and bite and say whatever he wants and stop goals with his hand and get thrown out of games because it's just him. So for him, he just goes from mad dogging and spitting on people to just shaking hands because it's just part of his regular aura and regular personality. It's just another day in Luis Suarez's shoes. I would love to see, like stories about Luis Suarez because they have to be just about as bad as Rick James, man. There should be a segment on Luis Suarez because he's just that weird and honestly bad person when it comes to some sort of situations.
He's over here just yucking it up with KKR and Jesus Ferreira. It looks like you got Falcone and Yaimar. It looks like they're fighting, but I'm pretty sure they're actually like, oh, sorry, bro. Like, yeah, no, that was crazy. No, it's all good. Yaimar's like,
well, you never know if Yaimar is fighting, and Yaimar's always like a peacemaker. He's so big. If you ever see him, and you saw him in the middle of that brawl, he's just trying to rip people off, but he does it with this smile in his face, like so it's like, I'm not threatening, but I'm just bigger than you. So he'll just do it with a big smile. And he, you saw him trying to calm down Rodrigo de Paul. You saw him trying to calm down Falcone. I mean, he was all over trying to make it okay. But that's always Yaimar's role. He's like this big bear with a smile on, just trying to move people around with his heavy hands, and just like he'll do one of these sometimes where he's just like, all right, man, calm down, I'm patting you in the back. But he has a very funny way about just handling business when this sort of thing pops off.
You gotta love Peacemaker, Yaimar. Yeah. So like nothing's even going on over here anymore, and this freaking weirdo is just like, hey, oh yeah, KKR, it's just Ferreira, my guys, what's up, guys? He's just, oh yeah, look, the hug right here with Ferreira. Like no one has any idea what he just did. He's just everyone's just like, oh, it's Luis Suarez, there he is. Like you would never know what this guy just did. You got the Paul right here. He's like, oh my God, I really I went to this team. Why did I do this to my career? I was on Atletico Madrid. It was fine. I just came here and won 3-1 in the Club World Cup. What have I done to myself in my career? There's Suarez yucking it up with Danny Leva and Tommy Dutra. He's still doing the rounds. Yaimar, what's up, man? You pocketed my ass. I suck. Oh, okay. Now, what do you think was okay? They hugged it out there. They hugged it there. Anyway, that's it.
He loves isolating 1v1.
Sorry, chat. It auto went to the next video. All right. I mean, that was a good breakdown, Nico. Actually, I got some new insight on exactly what happened there. But again, absolutely insane ending to that game.
And I mean it's early, by the way, too. But if you're watching this, give the video a like, share, subscribe. Where the super chat at, guys, fellas? I mean, that's a breakdown. That's a John Madden breakdown on what happened. So let us know what you guys thought.
We got one super chat to lead it off. Zippy coming in with the 5. Thank you. And also thank you guys for all the love and support you showed on the post-game live last night. That was insane. We were at the stadium streaming for 4.5 hours, and it was kind of mind-blowing, like how everyone was hanging out all night and supporting the show. It was awesome. So love and appreciate you guys. Zippy asks, y'all know anything about the fans fighting outside the stadium as well? Wild night, what a win. I hadn't heard that there was any fan fights. If there was, doesn't exactly shock me, given the team of crash out crybaby losers that they support. Perhaps they also are emblematic of some of those qualities. I will say, in any situation where there's members of a fan base that are behaving some type of way, it doesn't generalize the whole fan base. Noah and I were out there way before the game yesterday filming content, and met a couple of Inter Miami supporters that had like made the trip on short notice and stuff. They were perfect. They were very nice. They did not, I guarantee you, they were not the type of guys who were fighting anybody in the parking lot. So even if there was some Miami fans acting a fool and fighting in the parking lot, I'm not going to do something where Inter Miami fans are all like this or all like that. It's not all of them. But if there was like residual fighting that spilled out in the parking lot between fans, wouldn't shock
I didn't hear of anything at all. I did walk afterwards. I will say, admittedly, I did stop a older Sounder fan who was a little bit, were very intoxicated, and he was kind of coming at this mom with 2 teenage kids.
Oh, that's not a good look.
And just kind of saying things about Messi and stuff, and she's clearly freaking out because she doesn't want her kids going at him because they're teenagers where they might act on their own. So I just grabbed them and I'll say, hey, just come over here, just relax. And he's like, oh, but I gotta tell them my piece about Messi. And I was like, oh, I'll hear it, and I'm trying to get him exactly. I'm just trying to get him over. It was right in front of like the hot dog stands, and I mean that's probably the only thing that I saw.
Good job, Nico. You were channeling your inner game art, peacemaking.
Yes, obviously in a tighter package, the fun size, but yes, I definitely trying to be a peacemaker out there.
Joey says a Miami fan without a ticket for our section sucker punched me in the bread basket while security ushered them out of our area. That guy got kicked out. That is crazy, man. Sorry that happened.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's like, oh man,
I hate to hear that. Yeah,
it's just it's kind of ridiculous. Like you were saying earlier, kind of like not overshadows at all, but it's just something that you don't expect or necessarily want to be talking about. We're talking about it right now, but I mean, like we had to break down the video. Like, come on.
Yeah, and it is to just kind of bring up a brighter spot on things that should be eradicated, right? And that in some sort of way, I thought that the Sounder players all really held it together, because it could have, if the Sounder players decide to throw blows, it's a full on like battleground, like, you know. And I've seen it spoiled over like that. I remember there's a Colombia Paraguay game where Chilavert, a goalkeeper at the time, I don't know if he gets spit on or he spits on somebody, and then like a Colombia player hits him with like a flying kick, and then it's just punches everywhere. So the Sounder players could have reacted, and they were almost in the right to do so, but they didn't. They took the high road, and I think that's important to what really kept this from blowing up even more.
Rhombus with the $5. Thank you, Rhombus. Did you guys see the photo of the players crashing the concert stage next door at WAMU Theater? Paulie with the trophy on his head. I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to check that out. I do know we were watching Georgie's Instagram live from the locker room last night, and the squad was incredibly lit. So that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see after a title win. Celebration, beer in trophy, and beer getting chugged out of trophy. That's what you want to see.
Yes.
P. Magno asks, thank you for the 2. P. Magno asks, do we know the extent of CR7's injury? Do you know what's up with that? He's got something, but I mean, he looked pretty damn good yesterday.
Yeah, no, he looked great. Yeah, I thought his recovery speed was there. I thought that he wasn't slowing down on challenges. He played the entire game. But no, Brian Spencer didn't quite go into it. We knew about it. We suspected it. We didn't catch it immediately until he said it on KJR. And then you could just make the assumption that the player he was talking about was Christian Roldan. But I don't know what the injury is. It could be just something that players deal with chronically or something like that. But we'll definitely look into it when the team gets back.
Reese is saying that the guy that punched Joey actually got arrested in addition to kicked out. So that would be
Good.
that would be a nice small victory in that situation. All right, Kirsten Roldan was hammered. Hell yeah. I'm glad they got to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Eventually.
Take
Like,
a load off, you know. It's been
now they got a week off. Oh, that's phenomenal.
And it's been emotional, you know. It's been hectic. There's been so much on this team, right? Because of they haven't had a title in so long. So there's all these things that I think the entire team needs the rest, and not just physically but mentally. And I'm glad that they were able to celebrate.
Nico, what do you think of like the whole kind of talking point of the symbolism of the matchup, like clash of ideologies, like it being a matchup of teams that do it in very different ways, and what Paul Rothrock was talking about the method of actually developing a foundation and developing your players, winning out over the we're just gonna try and buy Lionel Messi and all his friends and hope that wins us everything without thinking anything else more about it.
I thought it was the biggest story going into this game. It's how I opened my radio call in Spanish. You know, I said it was a game of culture, tradition, passion, community, and organic fandom against generic money-made build-up success and designated and emphasizing just star power and trajectory and name all going at against each other. And I thought that the Sounders were going to win because of their foundation and those pillars that were set a lot longer and in stone and had more balance than anything that Miami had built, right? The whole Pink Phony Club, all that stuff. I mean, those are things that you can say about Miami sometimes because it's a team that's kind of built on that sense of just let's get success quickly like that. And the Sounders, just with their academy, their foundation, the way they've kind of gone about business from the very beginning. And this includes with, you know, the Nico Loderos and the Raul Ruiz and the Dempseys and the Oba, Femi Martins. I mean, yes, those were big names, but they're never to the extent of a David Beckham or a I don't know, Schweinsteiger. You know, they've never needed to just put fans in the stands by getting all these big name players because there is a true following. There is a culture built since 1974, and that's what makes the Seattle Sounders one of the biggest teams in MLS.
Yeah, like I'm not faulting Inter Miami for going on after and signing Lionel Messi. I think any club that has the connection and opportunity to do that would be incredibly stupid to not do that. That's like the holy grail of any player you can add to your team. But I think what this proves is that that doesn't guarantee you anything in the way that a lot of people were saying that it did. When Lionel Messi first went to Inter Miami, a lot of the narratives, a lot of the comments you would see were, "Oh, he's gonna win everything. He's gonna destroy those scrub ass MLS teams," which was always a little silly because realistically, that guy has destroyed every league. Like that, I mean, he's only played in La Liga and the French Ligue 1, right? Before this league, but he's been destroying UEFA Champions League defenders for like 20. So the fact that he came here, won MVP last year, and has been putting up ridiculous numbers, that never was going to say anything about like the league or the level of competition anyway, in the way that people were saying it did. But I mean, I think now there's a lot of people with egg on their face with how that game went, because I mean, you could see it in our comments leading up to the game. There was people talking so much shit with nothing else at all to their analysis of what they thought would happen, other than that, one team has Leo Messi and the other team doesn't. How did that work out? And also, why are those same people not up in our TikTok anymore? Why are they mass reporting our TikTok to get our stream kicked off when we didn't even really say anything that crazy other than call their team a bunch of crash out crybaby losers, which they objectively are? So like that's I think that just kind of to me was symbolic of just what you do when you whatever point that you thought you were making completely falls apart and you have to watch it fall apart, and combine that with the personality trait of people who can't admit that who have like a pathological incapability of admitting that they were wrong. And this is what you get. But also like I don't know, that's what happens, man. Like it's not this it's not a simplified game of let's go get Messi, Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, throw Rodrigo De Paul in there for good measure. They bought Rodrigo De Paul like 2-3 weeks ago thinking, oh, well, if we just plug him in, then we're going to be unstoppable. No way anyone beats us now. We got Rodrigo De Paul. How did that work out? They're starting that guy on the wing. He's not like Mascherano outside of his terrible press conference. I don't know what he's doing, like moving Rodrigo De Paul up a line where he was not and is not effective at all. So you just have this like mismatched situation where you got a big name playing out of position, not contributing anything. Sick transfer, guys. Sick like fifth DP that you were able to get in under a loophole. It just doesn't work like that. What we saw last night is what happens when you put a team that's really about it, that's actually done the work to compete and win in this league, against a team that didn't, against a team that was like just trying to cut corners, buy the most expensive big name players that they could, and then just called it a day. Like that, what we saw in that field last night proves that that's what happened. So anything.
Yeah, so no, that's a good segue into just maybe talking a little bit about the game, so we don't just talk about the brawl and the things, the general what was left over of the game. But to what you were saying, for all the people that have been following Lobbing Scorchers and Sandra Hart, I mean, we from the very beginning of this year had highlighted what Craig Weibel had been able to do with limitations and the group that they were putting together and the ideas that were there. At least I thought that they were going to be at least third in the West. They looked like they could do way more than that at this point in time. But the collective of players was always going to be, to me, a talented bunch. And if healthy with Jordan Morris and Albert Rusnak, I mean, this team could be very good. There are spots that you still need some help in, but the core group just showed you how far they can get, and the system, the ideas that were set by Brian Smetzer. This could be his best coaching job in his career. I'd have to say that this year, the way the team is working, the way he's using his substitutions, how it doesn't skip a beat, and every single guy going in understand their role. I think that there's a ton of credit that has to go to Brian, Preki, Freddie Juarez, and Andy Rose.
Let me pause you right there, because Jake actually brought that up in his super chat. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you. Can we give a shout out to the coaching staff like Preki and Freddie? I think our next man up mentality paired with the new tactics won us this trophy. All right, Nico, continue cooking.
Yeah, and don't let me forget about Tommy Dutra. I mean, absolutely a stellar job to get this team so in sync that you could just plug and play players to this extent. And it hasn't all been perfect, and that's the beauty of it, right? You gotta try to find a way to get you where you need to get. And I've said this before, if there's one thing that I appreciate about Brian Smetzer, is that when there's a storm and things go bad, he just holds on to the wheel of the ship and he makes sure that he gets across. Maybe things are bad, maybe things aren't going well, but he just holds on and keeps it on the trajectory. And that trajectory ends up almost always leading to a successful season or a bounce back in the second half of the season or whatever it may be, but it's always well. But this year, for me, it was earlier than usual. I think that they've challenged themselves more than they ever have from Club World Cup moving forward. And I just love everything about how they play. The pressing is as effective and as elite as I've ever seen a Sounders team press. The fluidity of their offense, the overloads, the possession spells, absolutely everything about what this team is doing is top notch. So absolute credit to the entire coaching staff, because this was a masterful job. I feel pretty comfortable saying that this could possibly be Brian's best coaching job year overall.
Yeah, I agree, especially when you factor in, like you mentioned, the amount of injuries and adversity and kind of just crazy situations he's had to manage. Like we haven't even talked about how this team was like in a labor dispute with FIFA about Club World Cup bonuses and stuff. And Schmetz had to like play the middle ground between, not discounting his players' protest and what they were fighting for, but also not like criticizing the owner in a way that would like make the organization look bad. Like that stuff was not easy to manage either. And you throw that in with everything else, and the fact that this team has been without Jordan Morris basically all year and Albert Rusnak for the entire last part of this tournament, and they still won the tournament anyway. I agree. It's definitely, I think it's pretty comfortably Schmetz's best coaching job this year. When you consider the level he's got this team playing at, no matter who is in the lineup, it's remarkable. Bad Sequels member for 6 months. Thank you. Appreciate the support. Thanks for calling in last night. You man, we put fans in the stands by actually winning big games. Yeah, exactly. Like we talk so much within the transfer window discourse about how like a new like big shiny big name player would increase fan interest and engagement and get people hyped again. That's how you get people hyped again, is what we saw last night. Hosting games like that, playing in games like that, and winning games like that. There were so many people at that game last night, Nico, that it was probably either their first Sounders game or like so it's something that they don't go to a lot. Like they're more just global footy fans or Messi fans. And there's going to be at least some percentage of those people who are like, dude, that was sick. Like I need to go back to that. Like we have that here, like week in, week out, which it's not obviously set. It's 70K week in, week out with that type of spectacle. But like you can go to that stadium week in, week out and like see great footy and like a winning team, a team that's actually competing and contending for and winning trophies. I think a lot of people, when they go to games like that haven't been to it, they experience that and they want to come back. And I think that game, as much as anything, I think a lot of those people, they were thinking of it from the perspective of like, oh, I'm going to go watch Messi just destroy the Seattle Sounders because, he's goated and it's an MLS team. And those people, they just don't have the base of knowledge to know that a different outcome is possible. And for them to go there and see the Seattle Sounders destroy Inter Miami, that could create new fans. So like, that's why I've been saying this whole time with the transfer window discourse, it's not whether they make a move or not is not the thing that you should care the most about. The thing that you should care the most about is if they're winning games, playing good footy, contending for and winning trophies. And if they're doing that, then the interest will be there. The support will be there. You just got to win. And last night they did so in as impressive a fashion as I've seen. Nico, did you have anything else on that sort of topic before we talk about the game a little bit more?
Yeah, no, I think that you're absolutely right. I think that the style of play will attract more fans, right? I heard from my sister and her boyfriend and my dad, who is a casual watcher, and they were both like, man, I didn't know the team was playing this well, and I didn't realize that there were all of these players that were in such good form, and who's Rothrock, and De La Vega has been so good, like why is that? There was interest from people that usually isn't quite there, because they got to see the product, and that product was phenomenal, right? Is that the volume of play, the purposeful possession? I thought that the team is playing good ball, entertaining soccer, right? And that goes long ways. So that's kind of what I would say about what the style of play can provide you, and how it can ignite new interest and revive a lot of that was kind of missing for a little bit, a couple of years after the CCL Champions Cup. I mean, that after that, I feel like you went a little stale, and now you're kind of recatching, reigniting some of that.
Liam becoming a new YouTube member. Thank you, Liam. Welcome. Appreciate the support. Everyone who hasn't followed Liam's lead and become a YouTube member, strongly consider it. Great way to support the show. Also, if everyone could please like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't, that'd be great. We've got a bunch of new subs from this tournament, so hopefully anyone who's new enjoys the show, enjoys the content, and plans on sticking around. But that's been one kind of cool thing is when the team you cover plays Messi and then beats them like that, you get a lot of eyes on your stuff that might not necessarily be otherwise. So
and when you work
good,
hard,
good tournament for Lobbing
you did a 4-hour show yesterday. You went live 4 hours, man.
After 2.5 or whatever in the morning.
After 2.5 hours or 3 of pregame and game. I mean, man, that's credit to you.
I mean, you already know that on like a final where you're playing Messi, we're gonna have to maximize that. No, I mean, it was content from 9 o'clock in the morning till 2 in the morning last night. It was a crazy day, but it was awesome. I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't care. I'm chilling. Nico, I wanted to hit on something you were talking about there, talking about this team's style and just like the level of footy, the type of footy that they're playing right now. One of my favorite things about watching this team play since the Club World Cup is, like you said, how effective they've been pressing. It is the best press I've ever seen from a Sounders team. I think it's the best in the league right now. And it is so fun to watch. There's nothing more satisfying than watching them just put these teams under all this pressure. Relentless. That's the word I would use. Relentless. Every single minute of every single game, they are just on top of these teams, forcing them into bad turnovers in bad parts of the field, starting off dangerous attacks. And it's just been like, I think, a hallmark of how they've been playing in their identity and all that. And I was thinking last night, I was like, why are they so much better at that than they used to be, or anyone else in the league right now? Because a lot of teams, not every team, Minnesota United, God knows, does not try to press. A lot of teams try to press, but it can be a dangerous way to play when you're playing all out, like that level of intensity and throwing yourself at the other team all the time, because the more you do that, the more chances the other team has to catch you out, and maybe you get out of position. Or you tend to, those teams who press a lot tend to leave themselves open and like give up more goals and more dangerous opportunities. But Seattle doesn't have that issue. So I was just like, how are they able to do that? And I just think that like an effective press, it's not just about running at guys. That's not what it's all about. It's about like timing, and to have the timing correct and the triggers correct, everybody has got to be connected. They have to know where they're going to be, when the other guys are going to be running. Okay, when this guy's running at this guy, I need to get to this spot early, right? Or like that you base where you're going, where you're pressing on what the guy before you was doing. So like whatever situation you're in, like whatever triangle it might be or whatever the case may be, everyone has got to be on the exact same wavelength. Everybody's got to be connected. And if you have that like understanding amongst each other, and you all just know how to play together. That is how you create an effective press. So I think like that trait in particular is sort of like emblematic of this team's identity, but also how connected of a team it is and how well they understand each other and how well they're able to play together and really just create these game states where they're just swarming the other team. Even this Inter Miami team, like I thought in the first half, the press was so good. Like they didn't know how to deal with it. Nobody knows how to deal with it right now. So I don't know. Am I cooking there?
Absolutely. No, that's that was part of it, and that's why the Sounders were so much better with less possession, with their principles established from the very beginning. Ustari had issues getting out of the back. Ian Frey had a headache the entire game on the ball, off the ball, because Pedro de la Vega, both defensively and offensively, just pushed him to the max. And I think he cooked them. He cooked Ian Frey. I thought that Busquets couldn't get on the ball either. The repress moments were phenomenal, right? That active defending was so good last night. They were swarming at guys, and then even in their emergency defense, so many jerseys behind the ball, keeping that shape intact, keeping blocks compact, not allowing Lionel Messi to get in those half spaces. Obed Vargas was relentless and a shadow of Lionel Messi the entire game. That's why I think there was so much frustration with Obed Vargas, because he was the entire game on Lionel Messi consistently. Reed Baker-Whiten helping on that side, Pedro helping on that side. I mean, his defensive contributions cannot be overlooked. I think Pedro de la Vega sets the tempo. He's a tempo setter. He's the X factor on the attacking end, in my opinion. So many ways that he would affect the game every single time he get the ball, whether it was direct by getting, balls over the top, whether it was coming back and regaining possession. On the ball, he's dribbling. His every single service into the box had venom. They were just dangerous. Every single of those early crosses, De La Vega was outstanding. Obed Vargas, as I mentioned, with the two-way defending, and Paul Rothrock, another guy that just helps that press so consistently. Right?
He is so good at it. He's so good at it.
So good at it, right? So those are the things that, as you mentioned, and we could just continue to just talk about the defensive pressure and the defensive composure and how resourceful they were when things even went sideways, like the Jackson Reagan slide tackle, right? It comes of a moment where there is a break away, there is a counter that doesn't go your way, and Rodrigo De Paul has a shot on goal, and Jackson Reagan flies by, takes the ball perfectly, right? That sort of thing is what was outstanding about this team's pressing, repress, and just overall defense against Inter Miami.
Jackson Reagan owns Luis Suarez for that. Luis Crash Out Crybaby Suarez. Sorry, I'm going to try and use his full name. Couple more super chats. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying basking in this Leagues Cup win and this, sending the Barca Boys back to Fort Lauderdale in shame like that. It doesn't get better, does it? It's this one needs to be basked in, and having like a week break from games right now is just so perfect, because not only can the players get some rest, tackle this stretch run before the playoffs, but it just gives time to bask even more. If they had like a midweek MLS game coming up on Wednesday, that would suck. Don't even need to think about that. Don't even need to think about that. Can just bask in the win, and then also kind of like the attention, I guess, that this team is going to be getting in the coming days, not just from how badly they beat Lionel Messi and the Barca Boys, but from beating them so bad that they had like an absolutely legendary, iconic crash out of historic proportions. M5 underscores coming in with the 5. Thank you for the support. Appreciate you. 2025 MVPs, Brian, CR7, and the L Scorcher hot take artists. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll take credit as an on-field MVP, but chat 2025 MVPs. Who you got? I mean, for me, it's Christian. So there was a pundit who was saying that like, it's classical national pundit where they were like, oh, they don't have Albert Rustak. That's their best player. And I'm just like, best attacker, maybe. Christian Roldan is their best player. If you knew ball, you would know that.
Absolutely. I think he's the MVP so far, right? I mean, I put, Yimmer's a defender, but he's been, stand out.
He was one of the MVPs of last night.
Yeah. So he's been phenomenal all year. But because the biggest feature for this system is the pivots, is got to be one or the other that at this moment in time are your best players, right? And because Christian Roldan is the one and only 6, he's the pillar of that functioning pivot. I would have to give it to him, and it's been his leadership and it's been his performances through Club World Cup, in leagues play, the amount of minutes, the wear and tear, everything that Christian Roldan does for this team. I would have to say that maybe in stats, right? You could look at Albert, and you could look at, Basovsky, but when it comes to being the most valuable player, it has to be Christian Roldan.
Couple of good chats here on the topics that we're talking about at the moment. Max says, Moz pointed out to me that one of the biggest flaws of Leo Chu was he wasn't in sync on the counter press, left space open at the wrong times, nullifying the entire effort. I never paid attention to it that much, but that actually makes sense. And as far as that's what I'm talking about with it's not just about running, in sync. That's a good way to put it. It's got to be in sync, and everyone who's involved in whatever sequence it is has to be on the same page and know what the other guy is doing. And that's how you get those situations where it seems like Seattle's defender is there to break up the pass and win the ball before the guy who's trying to receive the pass. It's like they already know where you're gonna be, because the guy in front of them has forced them into making a decision with the ball that is very predictable, right? So I think it's to be a starter and a regular player on this team, you have to, that's the key thing. I think that you the baseline that you have to be in sync with the rest of the team on. And then if you can do that and add that with whatever other qualities you can use to impress the coaching staff, that's how you get on the field under Brian Schmetzer. Energy, effort, defense, work rate, all that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember thinking that about Leo Chu, but stuff like that makes sense as more so even than lack of stat sheet production, right? If he was doing all that stuff, then it would probably counterbalance it.
I thought that was Leo Chu's problem, and the reason why he was never going to work, and the reason why he was relegated all the way to the stands, not even the bench. And it was a lack of effort. It was a lack of pressing moments. There's non-negotiables for Brian Schmetzer, and that's one of them, is effort and his press and his doing all the other stuff away from you just being on the ball, right? Not to mention the fact that I think Leo was very one-dimensional, but not to get out of subject here on almost an hour and 30 minutes into the show. But what I will say is that Pedro de la Vega was brought in to do a whole bunch of other things. And what I've been more impressed by has been his read on the game. It's been his defensive triggers. It's been in his tracking. It's been in his physicality. I mean, yesterday he gets scolded by Lionel Messi, gets scolded by Rodrigo de Paul. He got scolded by his idols and continues to just have the mentality that you know what, it's Messi. Yes, he's yelling, he's upset, he wants me not to come in, but the next tackle, I'm gonna come in harder. I'm gonna keep that intensity. I thought he was phenomenal yesterday. I don't want to also go off without saying that I thought that Alex Roldan was great. Right, he gets match MVP. He gets the assist. He gets the goal. We asked him about the moment where, it kind of feels like Christian is going to take the PK and then he takes it. I thought that maybe he asked for it, or maybe it was not part of the plan, but apparently it was the plan the whole time. He was always going to take that PK, and the whole reason why Christian was on it was to confuse the keeper. So all the mental games yesterday were phenomenal. But I thought Alex was great. I thought Alex was great pushing forward. I thought Alex was great defending. I thought that he had agenda in a choker's hold and would not let go, and had an awful game, and a lot of it had to do with his defensive effort. I think him and Paul worked in excellent sync, and he deservedly got the man of the match. And this is a guy that's had ups and downs, that had some difficulties this year, and going back to last year, he talked about it after the game, and he said, it hasn't been an easy road, and I'm just happy to be able to get that man of the match and help the team get this title. So credit to Alex Roldan, because he does get a lot of heat sometimes, and he's had some inconsistent play in the past, and he's really kind of hit a switch. It was center back Alex Roldan for me that's where I see the momentum shift on him, and after that it's been so powerful, so good on regardless of what position he plays on the field, right? Midfield, right back, center back. I mean, Alex Roldan has been phenomenal in the second part of the season, and maybe even a little bit before that. Jesus Ferreira, for all the heat that he's gotten, he didn't have a perfect game. He didn't get on the ball enough, but everything else that he was doing, when he would get the ball, he was very accurate with it. He was the guy sewing those passing patterns.
He started the sequence that led to the Osaze goal. He was fantastic in this tournament. I don't want to hear it. Like the fact that he does not have bigger stat sheet production this year is unlucky. He's had like 3 or 4 goals, a couple of which were like barely offside, where he wasn't even the one offside. It was the person before him who was offside. He ripped one off the post last night. He's getting snake bit in front of goal. I feel bad for him, because if he got a couple of those goals to go in, we wouldn't still be doing any discourse at all about whether that was a good trade. That was a fantastic trade. I have nightmares about what could have happened to this team if they hadn't made that trade. If you don't think that was a good trade at this point, I cannot help you. Like, you are
deluded. Exactly. Ferreira has been such a core component of that offense. His versatility has been needed, has been outstanding, and he just understands the game at a higher level, so he could just kind of roll and move and play off of his teammates. And the more he's with this team and the more he understands where they're going to be, the better he is. So I'd have to just say that the dominance yesterday against this Inter Miami team does come from having those sort of guys like Jesus Ferreira that allow everyone else to be better, right? Maybe, like you said, I'm not getting on the stat sheet, but I'm the guy that's making that pass before the goal. I'm the guy that's pressing where I need to press. I'm the guy that's moving around where I need to be. I collect the ball where I need to. I occupy the space that I need to. He's such a team player. Ferreira is such a team player. And that's exactly what makes this collective team as good as they are, because everybody's playing for the guy next to him, right? And that just is not something you see often. It's not something you see often. So I got to give credit to Jesus as well. And just to wrap it up, because I do got to take my dog out for a walk. Yeah, here in a little bit. The substitutions, very good by Brian. And look, I still got to ask him why there's this thing to take out Pedro so early every time, but it works. And I don't base it on the result, right? that's not it. It's just on the moment of the game. And I thought that in the last two, including the LA Galaxy game, it felt like the right moment to bring in certain players, right? So even if I don't want to see Pedro off, I understand why he's doing it. And the guys coming in are proving it, right? So Kalani and Danny Leyva come in, both did a great job, right? Kalani is a guy that is a two-way player, that he presses, he moves, he understands the role. He gives you a guy that you could also shift and move if you need to move around to a back line of three, as they did at the end of the game, right? So those are the things that I feel like Brian is just seeing, right? It's almost like in the Matrix when, Neo becomes the one and he just sees it different. Brian's just seeing the game at a different level right now. And that's what's helping this team out. Georgie Manungu, that was a necessary spark plug into that game.
That was
the
play of the game.
Off.
That was the play of the game.
And it paid off, absolutely paid off, man. But he did it in a way where he is not making substitutions just to make them, but he is very purposeful with them, and it's worked, man. So from having a rotation as heavy as he has, I just have been impressed by everybody's demeanor, their execution level. Georgie's a guy that he's been dying to get on the field, right? And when he causes that PK, maybe he could have taken another touch. Maybe he could have made more of that play initially. But when he gets that ball so far left, he understands that he can cause that PK by just edging his body. So is that intelligence level by Georgie. And then he gets up and he's hyped and he gets everybody up of their seats, right?
He was lit.
Man, just is the collective part of what everyone is doing that I'm just amazed by. Danny Leyva's ability to connect and set pieces, right? Just I cannot say enough about everybody, man. And that's why this win was so big, why it was so important, why it feels so huge, is because of that, man. So I just I think that MLS play is going to be different. And although they will have a very good kind of impulse from this tournament, we'll see what happens with injuries and things like that. But even if they don't get to MLS Cup, even if they don't win it, I would consider this a successful season.
I agree, man.
And I know Brian would probably hate me saying this, and the players would too, but I think that they have done a phenomenal job in this tournament. They've brought silverware home. They've given themselves some breathing room. And more importantly, they've put together a team that just plays great soccer and that can honestly play with anyone. And now soccer's not linear. Soccer can be very circumstantial, and that's why I'm not saying that they're going to go out here and just win all their games all the way to MLS Cup, but that they have a chance, that they're a contender. I'm absolutely behind that.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, Nico, I'll let you bounce on that, take the dog out. I'm going to blast through these last super chats and then get out of here myself. But thank you for tapping in this morning, brother. It was I was talking mess last night. I was like, let's do it later. I don't want to get up. I was so fried. But honestly, I don't know what I was talking about. There was never any way that we weren't getting up and laying this one down, even if it was slightly later than usual.
Look, anytime that the Sounders number 10 outshines the biggest 10 in
ever,
arguably soccer history, we got to do a show early, and it could be on 2 hours sleep, no hours sleep. It was necessary. It was important. Sounder fan base, have this moment, enjoy it. This is what it's about. Give credit to this team, applaud them, continue to support them the rest of the year, and keep watching Lobbing Scorchers, Sounder are hard. Nico Moreno, Rolo, Sounder, Soccer Down Here on Thursdays. that there is my shameless plug for Pulso Sports as well. If you want to look at that video, we got a whole bunch of content as well from the scrums yesterday. So I appreciate you, Ari. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody, all the comments, all the interactions yesterday before the game. Love everybody.
Later, Nico. All right. I also, unfortunately, have to vacate shortly here. I mean, I could stay on here and bask in this stub all day. Unfortunately, I do have work. So I'm just going to blast through these last super chats here and then bring us home. Zippy Tuna with the $2. Thank you. Appreciate you. How about RBW being totally solid at left back? I'm glad you brought that up. Because RBW is a guy that was taking all this heat during the Club World Cup because they started him against Atletico Madrid, and there was like 3 or 4 sequences in the game where he was under pressure defensively and had one play where he got called for a penalty that got VAR'd off. It wasn't even a penalty. And people went, RBW. That is why you let RBW start against Atletico Madrid. That's why you show that faith in him. Even if it's at risk of him maybe making a mistake on defense playing against Atletico Madrid. To develop your young players and to have them actually make an impact for the first team, you have to give them opportunities. You have to show that faith and confidence in them. And if you do that and they show that they're up for it, when you're in a situation where your left back gets a red card for owning Gabriel Peck and you need that player to start, he's going to be ready. RBW was ready. He was massive last night on defense. It wasn't like it was he was cross-merchanting or bombing forward the whole game. He was a dog. And if you don't show him that faith earlier in the season, do you get that level of performance out of him? It's what you should ask yourself next time before you come into the Lobbing Scorchers chat weirdly crashing out about RBW. I remember the RBW Club World Cup crash out brigade. Weirdos. There's like 5 of you. That's why you don't do that. Rob, member for 5 months. This is Jordan Morrissey Racer. I don't know like what we were talking about. That was that makes you say Jordan Morris Eraser. What we might have. It's been a crazy season for the number 9s. Like, because the thing is, Jordan Morris, every time he's played, he's looked like an absolute beast. He just has been injured all year. How many goals could he have scored in this system playing at that spot? I mean, you got Moose banging in 15 goals. You got Osaze scoring goals for fun. You had Jordan looking like he was in as good a form as he'd ever been in his career until all the injuries hit. So, we got a 20 from Luis. Let's go. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. More beer buddy Ferrari for all the effort throughout League's Cup. Also buy Nico a beer. Can't believe y'all actually started early today. Built different. Nico was right. We had to hop on early. We had to keep the train rolling, but appreciate the beer money. Glad you guys liked the content throughout all the tournament. We've been sweating our asses off covering this thing, so appreciate you guys. All right, yeah. I mean, there's still so many people in here watching, but unfortunately, I gotta go get some food, man. I ain't got no food here. I'm hungry. I've slept 2 hours, but glad that we were able to actually get up and work this one in. Great show. I hope you guys enjoyed basking in the wind, breaking down the footage Nico got of the crash out crybaby losers who must have touched down in Fort Lauderdale by now. I'm sure that was a fun plane ride for them. You know what's one of among many the sweetest things about all of this is just like the turmoil that team is thrown into. Nico was talking about it, like apparently they could hear in the visiting locker room last night. They were like yelling at each other and shit. I'm sure. Then they had to get They had to do the participation trophy second place ceremony post Brawl, after starting an insane brawl where Luis Suarez spit on security Gene. They had to do the second place ceremony. They had to go back down the tunnel, walk their sorry asses to the locker room, crash out at each other some more, and then get on a plane and fly back to Florida. Down horrendously bad. I can't even fathom that. The Seattle Sounders sent that entire team's vibes into the most like toxic, turmoil-laden vibe that you could possibly imagine. And that is freaking beautiful. I think that's a good place to call it. We'll be follow me on Blue Sky. I'll let you guys know if there's anything different about this week with like no game or whatever. But Noah and I will lay down a show. I'll be streaming on Thursday evening for sure. Maybe before then if we deem it necessary or if there's some news or something. But thank you guys for tuning in throughout this whole tournament. Legendary tournament, legendary run. One of the biggest wins in Seattle Sounders history. We'll talk about it more, I'm sure, in the coming months and years. But that one was up there with the best of them. Not just for the trophy that was won, but who was against, the statement that was made with that win. It doesn't get any better than that. So love and appreciate all you guys for supporting the show. This morning, also last night, though, all the support we got was crazy. All the numbers that our little reels and stuff are doing on IG and TikTok are great. So follow us on there. And I'll catch you guys this week. Love you guys. Peace.
Some people come to Lumen Field for the tactics, for the soccer, the atmosphere. And some come for Paul Rothrock's hair. Me personally, I come for both, because I have agendas to push. Live soccer isn't just better, it's way more personal. From making friends to becoming the guy in your section that's just constantly yelling about advanced statistics. Get tickets to any Sounders match by visiting LobbingScorchers.com/tickets. You support the pod, our agendas, the vibes, and the chaos.